Hello, we are back to the live stream, and I found the girl that I mentioned in a previous live stream like a while ago, and she is Jenna Green. She is the manifesting coach, and what I love about her work is that she have a really concise way of manifesting, and that and her way is actually pretty much like mine. And I used to be the person who was great at manifesting, because I did what she said, I did what she teaches, and it just happened to be one of my biggest flaws, because I sense myself to be in this feeling of cage, feeling of this roughness, of this experience of manifesting whatever I want. And even though like I get to have everything, the fragmented experience, like this is the experience of manifesting, and it's such a really deliberate, really like the steps that I took was so fragmented that sometimes in the between the gaps, like there were something in the between that I haven't found through my own power. And I eventually go deep into the darkness to find that steps myself, because I experience, what do you call it, the suffering of my fragmented steps. uh, and because not all of us were gifted with this perfect background, and I myself were not one of those people, because my family has a really uh, it's not that bad, but it's too jarring for me to experience, because the duality is like it's like right in my face, like I can feel it, I can sense it. And it's also like part of who I am, because I was that person with heightened sensitivity that I can sense, oh, this is not it, that is not it. And I was like really taking on the details on what's going on, and I don't know how to take care of myself, nor my parents know how to take to care for me. And because of that experience, I have this fragmented steps in my own life, in my own experience, that I decided to abandon that part of manifesting, that part of like so great at manifesting. And then I get to a point where we got the steps. Now we are coming back to it. But then when I hear what she said, which is like remembering who I was, I still feel like I don't think like I would go back into that really on steps on every single manifestation I have, because I accounted every other things along the way. And now that my sensitivity is cared, and now my social is actually expanded, I have this responsibility that I can no longer detach, because in manifesting, in the terms of how I was manifesting, it was so detached. Like I'm just like on my way, I'm just on my path, my own path, and then I don't get to be that person anymore. I can see like how different I was to who I am now. And I'm like, I don't think we can go back. But her thing is more like, well, just do it like this, just do it like that. And I'm like, exactly, exactly. That's like really why I was so good at it, because I'm just like, I know where I'm going. I know I'm gonna go, how I'm going to get it. I know what I'm actually gonna do with it. And everything is so laid out. Like it's already on paper. Like, oh, I have this. Let's go there with this. The step is this. Just go with it, and then boom, it manifests it. And now I am mastering procrastination. And through my own process, through my own processes, through my own journey in life, I get to know that the steps is not that static. It's not like really like step by step, and all that stuff. And I get to be this person who can't just do it. I myself become this person. And I'm like, it is understandable that when you get older, you start to have so many other responsibility that wasn't yours when you were a child. But at the same time, there are things that you can never change just because it was your responsibility. Because there are other people, that is those people's job, those people's journey to experience that thing. So I found that I can't just do it anymore. But if I get to be like so independent in my own thinking, in my own field, in my own reality, I can tap into that reality again, into that manifesting power again. Now, I would be so ruthless if I am coming back to that. But if by the end of the day I take those power, I use that power again, it was that devastating. I was that desperate to make it happen. Now I am coming back to it right now, but with a different mindset, because the person who I was have this small little bubble of her own world. But now I'm like having this giant and have already accumulated so much connection between me and the humanity and the things that I'm going after and all this stuff. So the effort felt a lot larger, even though like it doesn't need to be, because I am not here doing all the work. Behind the scene, there is a system within myself, a system how I carry that energy. It's already distributed into so many other things that it was no longer in my hands to get things done. And then I just get to follow the path that I'm walking right now. And I feel like that's the vision that I have. It's not just like just do it. It's not like I'm laying some plans on a paper and I get to see all the steps and I'm just gonna follow the steps and I will get it. It's more like I am already believing what I see is the next best things, and I already believe that I'm in a path of getting there. Now I don't need to be so hard on myself knowing what is the next steps. I'm just open to whatever steps is in front of me. Because in my system, in my belief, I already filter whatever those steps that is aligned with myself. And the world is already filtered through my own belief. So I don't need to be so detail oriented, because that's how I used to be. And this person, this manifesting coach, Jana Green, was one of those people. And I get to see her doing her session because she shared it in her YouTube. So if you search in YouTube, you type her name, Jana, Jana Green, just like the color green. You will find her because she talked a lot about manifesting and she's been here for quite a while. She's appearing on TV shows and all that stuff. I found her by chance because YouTube recommended her. And I'm like, that's always like how I found my people. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I'm in the path of actually manifesting what I want. And I'm like, let's hear what she's going to say. I have my doubt when I first found her, because sometimes people in the manifesting field tend to follow what Bashar and Abraham Hicks, which is the people, which is a channeled energy from Daryl Anka for Bashar, and then also like I forgot her name, but for the Abraham Hicks channeler, what do you call her? It's a she. She is Esther, something with Esther. I think it's Esther Hicks. Yeah, Esther Hicks, and she's channeling Abraham. And those people always said like just. They didn't say just. There are steps that need to be followed, and I'm always being the person who just do it. You already in it and all that stuff. Oh yeah, Abraham Hicks always talk about you already in it. Bashar always said something along follow your passion. And that is really hard for most people because they were living through someone else's plan and sometimes they don't have any passion, or they are not the type of people who can build that much of depth, which is like a lot of us. And some people were just enjoying life and all that stuff. But passion is a really deep word for creating a reality for most people. I'm not so much, I think at one point I also have to think through about my passion, because this whole journey of mine was built around a triggered. And I get to hear from another person I found in social media. She is a spiritual teacher, coach, whatever it is, spiritual guide. And she's shared something along. Oh, I just remember it and I forgot it. Oh, about the business. So she shared something along like if you build a business from triggered, when the trigger is over, then you're going to quit doing the mission. And she has a course around like building a spiritual business and all that stuff. And she knows something along like Facebook was created as a triggered business because Zuckerberg, like I don't know what his name. Zach was like that person who was insecure about his social life, and then he just made that space, and now it's become so huge, and that it is known as Facebook, and that is a triggered business. You can build however big you want it to be, but just know that the core value of it's trigger, and everything that is built upon trigger has this energy of not so good. I think like that's why the feeling of Facebook, it's not good for me. I have a hard time accepting social media because they hold this energy that I just don't like. And I'm so sensitive about it and I cannot play in this social media because of that. And then I expanded myself. I expanded my social skill, and then I learned how to love even though I don't like it. What is so great about social media? There was a time in 2020 when I first started, because I have those ache whenever like I'm entering the space and I'm like I can't be here, but I cannot not be here. So I force myself to understand how the game is played, how to make it work, how other people actually doing their job, how to actually connect in the social media. I learned those steps back then, and now I'm just like coming back to it again. And that's why, like, I'm here. But why did we stray away from that? I kind of like want to get back on the track of what we are talking about. I wrote no draft for this live stream. I tried to this morning, but I get to a feeling that it will be so complicated because what I'm trying to share is pretty much what I just saw from the video from Jenna Green. And I saw how she explained it. It was so vibe, it was so nuanced. Like she said the way how she handled it. She never say like, okay, if you have a problem in this area, you go into this connection with your identity, with your healing state, with your system. She doesn't say it like that. She's like, well, if I am this person, I'm just gonna do it this way. And I'm like, that's great. That's great. And this is like what's fascinating is that whenever I get into someone else's work that is aligned with me, I get to see that the way they approach their information is way different than mine. And I get to see why some people would never get what she said because it was so nuanced. It was so packaged in this personality, which is just her, because she is sharing how she did it, not knowing that some other people out there would not get it. And I have a tendency to go over the details, to look under the surface about what is the thing that is still blocking this person. And I have so extensive explanation of why things going the way it is. And she didn't say it like that. She just like, well, I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it this way. And I'm like, when you are working with yourself, there are parts that you will never get to experience the same way as other people. And it is important to say what those things are. And whenever someone just share what they have, it is a mentor like teaching. But then if the person has so much different reality, those things would not attach. Those things would not make sense. So I tend to work with people who don't know who is their person. Like, I don't know how to get this thing out, but I have this problem. So where do I approach it? And I always go back to the basic. Looking from the identity, looking from the system, looking how you heal, looking how you actually move in the reality, looking how you actually manifesting, looking how you are learning things, looking at how all of these things. And then when you get to know a person, you get to see, oh, this is how you move. This is how you actually know yourself. This is the quality of your best things in you. And then this is the worst part of it. Mine is that detail. And I'm like, I can't wait to actually help people with this. But yeah, so why can't you just do it? I have a personal belief that you always walk. When you already notice in your head, in your heart, that you actually, oh, I want this. You're already in it. You already like, you are already in the energy of that thing and you don't need to do anything else. And that's why like what she said, just do it, is the same way how I say it myself. Just do it. But mine is more like you already in it. You don't need to do anything more. What you can stop doing is actually blocking yourself from the thing. So when you are disbelieving your own journey, your own steps, your own reality, your own awareness, that is the thing that you need to counter attack. Because wherever you are is the perfect space and time. You don't need to put so much of yourself out there to get what you want. You already have what you want. And since my journey with the darkness, since I healed myself, I get to a conclusion that I don't need to try so hard to get what I want. And I'm like, exactly. Because if you have something challenging happening to you, you just accept it and you are moving forward with it. You're not dwelling on the energy of what if this is going to get worse from this? But then you have work on yourself. So what are you saying with this? What if this is actually not the thing that I want? Well, then you find out what else can you do with that? What if? So what if question, if you have a what if question, it is fear-based belief. Because what if make you feel doubtful about your situation, and you eventually get to be confused. You are start to weighing the option again. And when you get into this motion, you get confused, you get off the course, you got scared, and you just ran away. And that's why, like, most people can't do it. But then I also think that when people can't do it, it's because of they don't have the healing system. Sometimes in the background, in the history of the making of you, there was a history that you thought it was meant nothing, but then it catches you up in this present time, and you get to be the person who rejects such a situation. Now, this is the healing that you need. You need to go back to that reality, understand that there is nothing that can hurt you now because of how the time is different, because of how you are different, because of how jarring, how duality is from where you were to where you are. When you can like start grounding yourself into your present time, to look around you to see, okay, this is actually what I'm doing, this is actually what I'm getting. The past is the past. I can feel the fear. I can separate myself from the fear. I can honor the fear. I can love the fear. No, that's hard for most people. Most people, when they feel fear, and this is what Jenna Green also teaches, is that just ignore it. Now, it is good that you can ignore fear, but sometimes the fear itself can be a fact, can be a truth for your reality, and it will be like a reality check on you to see, like, are you ready for this because of this? Are you ready because of this? Because it will catches your insecurities. Are you ready to be judged because of this? Because it will catches you in the most vulnerable time. Like those, the fear is not bad. I think like most people have already choose to think that fear is bad. You cannot feel fear. Stop feeling fear. Me personally, from because of my past, because of my journey, I get to see that I can love fear. So whenever I feel fear right now, I don't ignore it, even though I can. I don't try to detach myself from the fear, even though I can. Because that pattern, that way is actually a lot more difficult for me right now, because I don't like being in duality. If I love and so I hate. So I tend to close the gap between what is the two option of something can happen. I love everything. This is the journey that I get to experience. It's leading me into, I get to love whatever I am in, whatever circumstances I'm in, even though it doesn't look so good. Even though this journey doesn't look that great, even though like when I told someone out there that I'm still living with my parents and all that stuff, and they will judge me because of it, but I can still see that if they take the road of understanding where I come from, where I am, who I was, and all that stuff, they get to experience the same kind of love like I did. Because I'm not afraid, I'm not ashamed, I'm not in the fighting flight kind of state. I'm just like, this is who I am. I don't care what you're gonna say. I'm just going to go with what I have in mind. So that state of in love is what I always go after since my journey, because I get to see like I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be extreme about it. I don't need to be different. I'm just here with myself, with all of myself. And this is like why at some point, even though sometimes I also feel like I can't do certain stuff, I get to love that part too. So when you get into the state of love, you get to feel grounded because nothing can stop you. And this is like what I want to share to more people out there. And one other thing about why some people can't just do it is that I want to like touch on the parents who actually parenting their child, because the parents will have what you would call it history that is not good, that is just keeping them stuck, and there is a word for it. I don't remember about it, but like they teach that thing to their child, and their child carry the energy of that suffering, even though like they don't need to. Now, some people are blessed with the awareness to not follow whatever path their parents was. I was one of those people. But then there's also people who don't, and they tend to follow what their parents have. And this is the time when healing is actually really great, because then you get to detach from the pain, you get to choose your own path, you get to own your truth, and you get to live the life that you want all along. But the thing is that cutting cord with your familiar lineage problem is actually pretty hard, because I think like around a year ago, I get to see, oh, this is why people have a generational pain, because they don't have the capacity to hold other people's pain, suffering, and therefore they're just lost in that area. And I get to see healing is important because of this. Because if you have the ability to expand or let your focus be so on point, then you get to feel the flexibility of your own inner reality. And that will get you into doing anything that you want in this life. And I think like that capacity alone will help more freedom to be created in this world. And that's why like I place highest order of being in yourself, like your reality, you as whatever you want, how you speak, how you see, how you talk, like own it. Like that's the thing. And sometimes the path of frequency to arrive into your awareness is understanding that at some point you want things out of the order. You want things that is not even known to whoever is in your family. And people who can't just do it have those tendency to just follow what they know, just follow like what everyone else has done. I have my friend doing it that way. Fee was really familiar, not familiar, like she loves her family so much that she will do anything for her family, and I've seen her suffer for quite a while. And the way she cannot stand for herself and her family is painful to see, to watch. And I'm seeing it firsthand, and I'm like, I wish you just like stand on your own 2 feet and like just do whatever you want. But she cannot do that because she value her family so much that eventually she's still in a trap of making her family proud instead of herself. And I'm not one of those people. And my family has been suffering for me because I'm like, I don't want to do what you actually want me to do because that's not something that I want. I have that radical, what do you call it, when a kid was actually objecting whatever you say? Not ridiculous. Ah, it's like right here. The word is right here, but it's so blurry I can't really read it. Michigeta. So that's the thing. And I just want to share this because I get to experience such a duality between how I actually guide people and the way that Jenna Green actually guide people. Like I'm trying to keep my stake upon what I have in mind. Rather than proving, she mentioned in the video about proving something to as the channel to use anger. Rather than proving, I'm just owning wherever I am. Owning is actually a better word than proving because someone in her video asked like, how do you actually use anger to create more career pathways or more money in life? And she said something along, well, you can use that as like, I'm so tired of having this. I'm just going to go what the fuck I actually want, and I'm just going to go after that. I don't fucking care. Let's go. That's how she used the fear. And I'm here having the same angry feeling about what she said, but I deliver it and oh, but I actually have a different way of seeing things. So it's more kind, it's more effortless, it's more like I'm just here being myself. I don't know what you're saying. So when there is a fight or flight, now sometimes people often flight, but when it's a fight, like I need to prove, I need to like have this kind of thing where it's from the anger, but it's like when you're approving something, it sounds like you are approving something. And it's not in a great it's not a great state to be in because when you're approving something, you have this tendency to pull yourself from the balance point and you put more effort out there and you are trying to be seen, and then the investment is so small, like you give too much out there and you just like receive something like small over the time. And I'm like, that's not what I'm here for. And I'm just like, I'm here sharing what I have. I don't really have other things to say besides that. So I have a really different way of saying things. But I really appreciate that she still say the way she is because somebody out there still needs those energy. But I'm here participating in the energy that is comfortable within myself, but also something that I can lead people with. Like let people know that you can still live with this kind of energy. Because the world, and mostly women, femininity is something that was stretched beyond the core right now, and people are fighting instead of owning. That was the essence of feminine, is that you never get to be you never get to own your feminine if you are trying to prove, because that's the energy of masculine. Masculine is putting action, but also it can seem like you are proving something because of that. So there is a difference between those energy. That's my take. And I feel like when you are trying to do something that is aligned with your vision, that is aligned with your value, that is aligned with how you want to do things. There's also this thing. One part that she said in her video is that, oh my God, I just forget it. What did she say in her video that I just want to talk about? Hmm. Oh my goodness. I can't remember it. Okay. So, I don't know that I have been talking for 36 minutes. I feel like the time now extended to a point where it gets longer and longer and longer because I talk about the principle, I get to the experience, I get to the other experience, I get to get back on the track again, I get to pull back and then just like relax and see where I want to go with this. But this is the reality of how I actually speak in real life. Whenever I want to talk about something, I kind of forget about it, and I'm just being frustrated. And then when my mind works like this, if I have something that I forgot, and then I'm still like thinking about it. What is the thing that I just want to talk about? I will remember it later. And when I remember it, because I'm not here again, I get to be so angry at myself. Nope, nothing is coming up. So if you get to think about the place, the situation that you're in, the frustration that you're in, why do you not just do it? What do you think is the reason? I feel like if you just stay with your situation, if you just stay with where you are, you're going to find that really that core of reality of the things that you stay playing in. Maybe you are working with the old and new version of yourself, you are just in the middle of it, and you are still uncertain about the situation. But if you can make the situation certain enough for you to choose one lane, what would it be? I think that's the easiest way to think about it. Mocha, what did I think I want to say about Jana Green? Hmm, don't know. I cannot forget about it. So, thank you for watching. This is such a long video. And if you're tuning in until the end, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.